Okay, this video is about the conversation that I had with my Gulf Bend case manager. All my mental health case managers and providers have been corrupt and have been used as minions. They cover for all the damage the government has done, and they're in cahoots with mind games, abuse, and violating my rights. So that's why I would wanted to record this call. I want you to hear the mind games that are played with me. So I want to give you a history of what I've experienced in the past from case managers and social workers with MHMR and Metro Care Mental Health Services. So Akia left and let me live in a tent. She pretended like she couldn't have helped me get help to flee abuse, and then lied about a conversation that I had with Mary that's uploaded. And then she had to leave. She started an argument with me when she saw things were inappropriate at CPS. Akia had to leave when I told her I didn't want to get murdered, and that's uploaded as well. Then I got Janisa. Janisa was called and start arguments all the time as well, and they come that the only service they can provide as case managers was mental health services and no resources. Janissa was so crooked that she did not want to give me a ride to my appointments, and that was part of her job task as a case manager. And they tried to con, and I escalated. And then 2 weeks when they wouldn't give me a ride to my doctor's appointment, when I was really upset that I was being violated, and then they finally said that she could give me a ride. But that's a pivotal part of being a case manager, to make sure someone gets to their appointments. And she wouldn't. She started an argument at our calling when I was trying to flee abuse there, and said that we had to leave. And she took me to a sober living environment that was abusive. Janissa also started an argument when I asked her about getting help to flee abuse at Dallas Life Shelter. So I escalated with the director. She's supposed to be the Director Keri, about Janissa's abuse and mistreatment and her inability to provide me the services that for the allotted program. It was the ACT team. So it's supposed to be more intensive treatment program and more services for people they claim with higher needs. But they just wanted to frame me, and I wasn't getting any of the services. So it escalated at Dallas Life after Janissa walked off while I was talking. Keri came out, and they didn't concentrate on any of the topic. They some kind of way trying to address the mistreatment that I've had from multiple different workers. The director over Dallas Life came in from nowhere. She wasn't invited in the conversation, but she came in anyway. It was a scam to get me put out of Dallas Life Shelter without any felony charges for conspiracy to violate rights. So the scam was punishment for trying to escalate and get services that I was being deliberately robbed of. So they scammed that this Mary Ann Sweeney overheard this conversation and just butt into a conversation she had no reasoning to be involved in. So Mary Ann Sweeney said that she felt for my best needs that I needed to be on medication to get services there. Because from what she was overhearing, that it was delusions by me saying that I had a false arrest, and I didn't know what the Keri was speaking of. Keri said that I was banned from multiple different shelters, which was a blatant lie. So I said that she's not being honest with you, Miss Sweeney. So nonetheless, they didn't care. And I don't know who told her to come in to begin with. So I was escalating to report abuse from case managers, but some kind of way I got put out of the shelter. And I had already got put out of another environment, boarding home. So then I got put out of the boarding home, then got put out of shelter and corruption. That's just from this group of people. It's been happening years. So then Janisa takes me to our calling. And then our calling, she starts an argument there when I'm trying to flee abuse there, and I get no help there. And Janissa takes me to a sober living environment with no drug addiction to flee for my life. So Janissa was so abusive. I watched people going to the store, going to get food, groceries, going to pantries. I didn't get none of that. All kind of help. This lady was going through a crisis situation. Someone was violating her rights. Someone called adult protective services for this lady. Another lady was going to have suffering something with her abuser. They took her to do a report and advocated for the party. And none of my workers would do that, period. And then blatantly lied about the services. So then it escalated, and then I got Adrian. So Adrian started arguments. It's just one person after another, the same behavior. I don't think it's a possibility for me to be treated properly. That's why I'm taking my time to do this description of my experiences. So nonetheless, Adrian started arguments, would make appointments, then would go, honor the appointments. Then she said she was going to advocate for me and went to CPS. She heard that there were 30 reports missing, and then they told me, demanded that I left because they couldn't furnish the 30 reports on Stemmons. I called the police because I was tired of CPS's games. So the police came, and Adrian was trying to tell them I was mentally ill, and they excluded me from a conversation, the police and Adrian. The police tried to lie because I already did a child abuse report with him. They tried to scam and say, I didn't know if they were trying to set me up or what was happening. I said, then he got caught, and I said, I've already done a child abuse report with you that you said that you were reporting to CPS. They said they don't see it. I didn't never talk to you before. I said I have it recorded. Oh, I remember talking to you. I said, where's the child abuse report? They don't see it. Then they try to distract them from the flick. Adrian and the police, they're hiding in the corner, talking amongst themselves, excluding me from the conversations. They did it at Midcoast. They do it at a lot of different environments. That's why I'm documenting this and recording it. So Sherry wouldn't give me any kind of program details. I got my own apartment on my own, full price, no programs, no housing. She lied about all the housing resources. All Metro Care locations do it. All mental health providers, every location I'm at lies about the housing. If I sign up on it on my own, I'll still never get it. When I go to a housing authority, it's in person, they lie. So Adrian sets me up. I think I told you, I'm not quite sure because I've done this recording before. Adrian called me at the lake, and so I was afraid to venture out and go anywhere alone. So I said I'm going to go ahead and start enjoying my life, and even though I'm afraid, so I went to the lake. I had a picnic at the lake, and I enjoyed it. Adrian calls me on a Sunday at the lake and demands this small TV that she gave me back. I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" Look, the TV was the size of a monitor. So she says that I need it back. Someone gave it to me. I said, "You're off. What is it?" She said, "Well, they need the TV back, and I need it." So I think that I've had all these strategies to ruin my day that I know people wouldn't believe. So that's why I'm taking the time out to inform you guys. So I went to Adrian wouldn't give me any resources, period. So I went to New Beginnings. I can't remember the organization, actually. I think it was Genesis. So Genesis was scheming to give me services, and I didn't even realize what was happening because I didn't think my experience was possible. So Genesis was scamming, and I told them to call the police because the police was bullying me and would not take a report properly and do an investigation of multiple different reports. So then they were playing games, and then Adrian kept calling. I said, "Adrian, I'm in a domestic violence organization. You're interrupting me. Please stop calling me." And she kept calling anyway. I had to just stop answering the phone. And that's what I spoke about on the Flying Monkeys video for Metro Care staff. So whatever was happening with the organization, they scammed that they couldn't do it today. They said the holdup was with the police, and she had other things she had to do, so we couldn't wait on the police. Well, whatever was happening never happened. So I got my own apartment, and then it was in tears, and I told Adrian that my daughter was hit, and CPS and the police department was covering for it, and she already witnessed what happened at CPS. And then I don't know if I've already went over this. Another time, I was trying to report interference with child custody crimes. She was in cahoots with the police department, and they claimed that the police department called her out, police that she shouldn't have known. I called to report interference with child custody. Adrian comes with the police department, and their scam is that they are stalking me and found her from nowhere and would not address to me how in the world would they have known to call this lady out to interrupt interference with child custody report, and she did it. There was mandatory reporting, and she did not do that. So then I kept calling to get my supervised visits at Family FLP. Adrian says that she got a call from the police department. She says that the police department told her to advocate for me, and that she was going to talk to them regarding me. I said, "No, I want to talk to them regarding for myself. I don't want you talking for me. And it doesn't appear that you have my best interest at heart." She says, "Well, nonetheless, the police department gave me that responsibility, and I'm calling them and I'm talking to them for you." It was in malice to the time. So I said, "Did you call them?" Oh, she said, "I forgot." I said, "Okay, when are you going to call them?" "I'll get to it." So then I'm asking her and badgering her, "Did you call and check on my daughter?" She said, "Oh, I couldn't get a hold of him." And that's how that went. No update period. Mind games. So fast forward to this conversation that I had with this mental health provider today. That's just a more. There's another situation in Fort Worth. They scammed and then played games with the housing. They were so crooked at in Fort Worth when they played games and lied about all the services, and that's uploaded because I just got tired of their behavior. So they were so crooked. Were so afraid. They demanded, like a lot of locations now. This one has started doing it. The government is telling these people to demand that our phones are off because they don't want if so there's an FBI agent that has integrity or someone on my phone, locations are demanding that we cut our phones off. And I find that peculiar. So nonetheless, in Elevation Mar, they demanded that the phone was off and they took it and then they terrorized me in these interactions and played mind games. So I asked them why it had housing on the building and other resources, and they couldn't explain why it had that. They were caught in a blatant lie. So the security came and tried to give me a criminal trespass from the location because they couldn't express how they were depriving me of services. The police were involved, and then when I started recording the police, they pretended like they were just there by chance. But they, like the lady Mary Ann Sweeney from Dallas Life, I don't know, because I've done this before. I don't know if I went over that. But nonetheless, the police department scams that they just were there and just ran into this man. And then when they found out I was recording, they didn't give me the criminal trespass, so I assumed that they were going to scheme there. So this is the introduction to the conversation that I had with my new case manager. So my abuser has people call me. I don't know why. And pretend like they're giving me services, waste my time, have me on hold an extended amount of time. A lot of times the conversations don't make any sense. They have no clue what they're talking about, and it's really apparent that they're just really trying to waste my time. Like they'll say, "Can you elaborate on your abuser? Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me about your kids. How was it growing up?" And you don't really want, and they don't have your best interest at heart, so it's annoying. Then I'll say something, and then they'll say, "I forgot. Tell me again." In one call. I had to re-record it because she said some personal things in malice, so I had to. You asked me if I wanted to do Monday or Friday, and you said, okay, yes. Monday, and then you asked me the time Monday, and then you said yes. You're not available on Monday.
Yes, ma'am, and I do apologize for that. That was an error on my part.
So she says she's not available. She asked me if I want Monday or Friday. Then she says that she can't do Mondays, period, because she does something else. She forgot she doesn't do outsourcing or go out on Mondays. So this is the result of that statement. I just find it a pattern that people want to schedule things the opposite of what I'm telling them. They'll say something, and then when they find out my needs, they want to set up the opposite of what I'm requesting. I've been experiencing this years. So I just found that was pretty peculiar that you asked me and then you said Monday. I said Monday. You said Monday or Friday. I said Monday. You said, okay, Monday. And then you asked me the time. You gave me a time window and then I gave you the time. And then you said you can't do it that day. And then you said on Mondays.
Yeah, and that I do apologize for that. That was an error on my part. I should have looked at my schedule.
If you don't go outside on Mondays, why would you think that if that's something that a standard, why would you offer that? You didn't clearly think in your mind that that's not something that you normally do on Mondays?
I get your frustration, Kiana.
If you're introducing the conversation or introducing our interaction with games, I'm just not quite sure the relevancy of having a case manager that is introducing games into our case management. And psychological abuse as an introduction.
I'm not trying to introduce games with you. That's not, again, that was an error.
I've never had any case manager that authentically wanted to help me. I've never had that. The whole time I was targeted. They were playing mind games. They assured me that you would call and start arguments and play mind games. They said that. Yeah. And then they said that I could have counseling, then I couldn't have counseling, and then I could, and then I couldn't.
Yeah, well, I hear what you're saying. It sounds like you've had some pretty rough experiences with case managers in the past. I am here to help you in any way that I can help you.
Okay, so the only option, the only day period is just on Fridays?
For this week, next coming week. This week, your option is Friday. The following week, I'm going to be seeing you once a week. The following week, I can do a visit on Monday.
Okay, so just that Monday wasn't available. You said Mondays and Fridays, and then then it couldn't be Monday. Now it can be Monday, but just not this Monday.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Yes,
Okay, so there's 2 options, Monday and Friday out of the week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I guess there's only one opportunity. I mean, Friday is the only option. I don't have any choices.
Yes.
Either I see you on Friday or don't see you, period. So that's not a choice.
Yeah, so for next week, your option is only Friday.
We could have saved a lot of time if you just would have said your only option is Friday.
And I'll make a note of that. Yes, ma'am. I'll make a note of that. I am so sorry for that confusion.
Yes, it's been happening years.
So, it sounds like a lot of people have been doing that with you.
Yeah, I tried to report the conspiracy to violate rights crimes to the police. They won't take it. Everyone treats me that way. They feel if I'm terrorized and bullied and mistreated and taunted, I won't get the services. And then if I still try to get the services anyway, my case managers and my help starts arguments and plays mind games. That way, I still don't get the services. Then if that don't work, all of that madness, then they just don't come.
Okay. Well, that's sad that you have to go through that with the.
Well, you are my case manager. There's some responsibilities as being a case manager, especially when someone has mental health, with a mental health provider. If you are aware that I'm telling you that I'm being violated and people are violating my rights, there's adult protective services that you can report that to. You can give me strategies on how to combat that abuse. There's child abuse going on. I've heard case managers that actually went and advocated for that party. So, I mean, there are some things that you can do that I've never seen as a case manager. Are you a social worker? Are you a social worker?
No. So my role is case management. It's a little bit different than a social worker.
Do they have a social worker at Gulf Bend?
I'm sorry?
Do they have a social worker at Gulf Bend?
They do not have social workers, licensed social workers at Gulf Bend.
Because they've been hidden. It's a red flag that someone would repeatedly hide social workers, and the police would come and remove me, so I couldn't speak with social workers. So that's a red flag that something's amiss if people would hide social workers and pathologically lie about them. That means that they know that they're doing something that they shouldn't be, and therefore they want to hide any ability for me to flee something that they know that they're doing inappropriate. You don't hide social workers for no reasoning. Yeah. But so are you as a case manager, do you know where a social worker can be found?
I can help you.
I'm just social workers. Where would you find a social worker? Okay, so I'm going to pause it for a second and give you a little commentary. What's annoying is that these people, they know my personality, and then they'll deliberately wait until ADHD kicks in, or I go to another topic. For example, like I would repeatedly not get my change, and I was robbed of a lot of change because I would forget. And this experience has made me remember more. So people really took advantage of the fact that I trusted them and didn't get my change. So then at Dollar General, this particular lady tried to keep my change, and I was onto him that someone was prepping these people to rob me. So she tried to keep my change. I said, ma'am, give me my change. And she distracted and then, said, I give it to you, distracted. And then she still did not give me my change. I said, ma'am, give me my change. Then she distracted, deflected, and would give me my change. I said, ma'am, give me my change and I need to speak with your supervisor. And then when I didn't get the supervisor, they had the public humiliation on a loudspeaker. Let me go ahead and show you. My phone won't record it at first. It was glitching. You need to leave this property immediately. You are no longer welcome inside of this Dollar General. Police are en route with your photograph and your description. If you would like to do with police, the government's having these people do this. As of right now, you need to gather your personal belongings and leave this property immediately. So I threatened police. Once again, police are en route. They're talking about me. She didn't want to give me my change. They pretended like they didn't know. I've recorded their odd behavior. So they're publicly demeaning me on the loudspeaker for profit. Here's a lady right here that called them. You shouldn't be committing a crime at Dollar General on Centerville and then get mad at me because you get caught in your criminal activity. I'm purposely trying to expose you so it can end. You have no right to try to not honor the coupon that was on the packet. Then, in addition to that, you created another problem with not giving me my $40, my change. Standing there pretending like you didn't know what you were doing.
Now you're recording because...
So out of all the madness, she's only concerned about me recording.
I'm just recording the criminal activity and how you're publicly demeaning me on the loudspeaker. They think I'm not recording. Because they immediately know when my phone's not working and it wasn't.
So I demanded to speak with her supervisor because I'm telling this lady 3 times to give me my change and she won't. She's hoping that I forget. And deflecting and distracting. I don't know how the police department and the government can entice people to. Is that a crime? And then to public, nothing. Moving forward to the purpose of what's happening right here with this other madness. Okay, the case managers.
Trying to get help with the abuse and it's impossible. I can't find it.
That's
can't
Akia.
find it. You can't find it, and you're a social worker.
Some things social workers just can't do.
Yeah, so you can't refer me to someone that can help me get out of abuse. I mean, you can't refer me to
another. Or you going to talk to them on your own is the thing.
Well, if they're okay,
talk to them on my own.
Talk to them on my own. Well, here's the thing: if someone is setting me up to not get services because I talk to counterfeits, so I like an address, so I'm not forced to talk to counterfeits that is going to not get services on the phone.
Remember that we had this experience last week, and due to the pandemic that we're in, there's a lot of places you have to make an appointment. You can't just
that's fine.
You can't just walk in anywhere.
Right.
No, you do.
I don't. No, I don't. I
Have
don't have civil rights.
You always have.
So I have to get what people are allowing me to have, and I don't have civil rights like everyone else.
Okay,
so,
if that's how you feel, then
it's the truth. I can't. I mean, you're a social worker, and you are covering for me getting murdered. I mean, for the abuse.
Right.
Well, I say that because I'm telling you my life is in jeopardy, and you have to go each time I say that.
You need to call 911 if your life is in jeopardy. That's what you need to do because I can't control your person. I can't make a report because as of right now,
that's not about a report. It's about being a social worker and networking me with places that help me and get me out of the corruption. And we have not done that. And I've been asking for it ever since October of 2020.
Okay. All right.
October 2020 and it's April 9th.
I wish you the best, okay?
She has to leave while I'm reporting abuse to her.
Applications.
Here's the thing. Work the program that you're in. Salvation Army has a good
They want to deny me services. I keep telling you they give deny me services everywhere.
Okay.
And I don't know a lot of people have not heard of CPS that won't take reports for child abuse.
The lady didn't say she wasn't taking the report, Ms. Clark. She said you had to do it online, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I wanted to do it in person with her, and she said that I have to do it online, and she forced me to do it online. She did not take the report.
You have to do it online.
Yeah.
That's their con because they want me to call and talk to these scammers. So when I'm present, CPS, even if you walk in, you cannot report it to them in person. You can only do it online. That's how a lot of the FBI locations are too. These are my case managers.
The police without you guys consistently intervening.
That's my case manager, Adrian.
So,
she's the police.
Sir.
I'm making a report, but he's leaving with Adrian.
That's what the CPS worker did.
What's that?
I need to talk to him about why he didn't refer it over to the CPS. And why you didn't refer it over to an investigator. My report to you.
I'll call the police on CPS.
So it's like you guys are tampering with evidence. Because if he bribed my abuser that I have a harassment case with, that it's not doing nothing. She said she closed the case because I won't give her evidence, but she won't take it.
Who is she?
Her name is Detective Gooding from Central Patrol.
I remember you saying something about...
He said he didn't at first until I said I had it recorded.
The father and her...
Can you express if there was an advocate, my case manager, why they need to speak privately? What is that about? Was this prearranged? Were they trying to set me up and decided, no, it's too incriminating? What were they trying to do at Gulf Bend the other day when the crisis team came and then they were behaving odd? So nonetheless, it was ignored.
Which she doesn't have, she's abusive. She has been abusive in the past. But here's the thing, why did you not do it to send it over to CPS like I said, because they won't take my reports? Why didn't you send it over to an investigator or CPS? Because if he's bribing the court, that's a crime. Taking bribes and hindering the child custody agreements are crimes. And if you guys are covering for it, tampering with evidence is a felony. So why did you not refer it over to the proper authority to do something regarding it?
So he has evidence. If he took a report that wasn't investigated, and I'm at CPS calling at the police on CPS, then he can obviously see, as well as my case manager, that there is a conspiracy and there's criminal activities surrounding me. It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no big conspiracy. Like literally, I ended up seeing her on a Monday. So
no, it's just odd because I've had a lot of odd experiences that you will not. Typically advocates, are there to.
Why did you choose a Sunday? Why did you choose that Sunday when I would like to know when you were off? Why did you choose that Sunday?
I'm not gonna allow it into my
Gaslight it.
day.
I want to know on a Sunday why you were off.
This is negativity, and this is not.
I don't want to know. I have a right to know. If you're trying to help me with my mental health, why on a Sunday when you were off did you ask for that TV when I was at a park enjoying myself?
Oh, because my client needed it. The one that needed it bad.
Why did you choose to do that on a Sunday? Why couldn't you wait till you were at work on a Monday?
Oh, because I was going to see her that next day. And
So the Metro Care helps with people when they get their own place with resources and different things that I was robbed of. She said that she had something for me. She had these filthy towels to degrade me, hair glue all over them. I was really disappointed and felt degraded. Services and residential? What does that mean?
Say that one more time.
It says on the building, it says homeless services, crisis services, and residential.
I'm not.
It's on the building? And you're not sure?
No, I'm not.
That's the front desk
we don't have a
representative.
place for you to stay here, so I'm
It's
not.
on the building that has residential crisis services and
Crisis
homeless services.
Yeah, but residential.
You have crisis services?
We don't have room for you guys to like stay here.
Oh no, the crisis services and the homeless services.
Right.
That's on your building.
Right.
What is it?
I mean, if you're going through a crisis, are you going through a crisis?
Oh, yeah, I'm in a fleeing a domestic violence crisis that involves the government. I get railroaded and there's a felony crime conspiracy to violate rights at multiple different locations to keep me from services. I've been reporting it years and it's been no accountability for the conspirators, even though it's a felony charge.
Okay, so when you get called to the back, you can.
Oh, well, you don't want to tell me, you have any...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't work back there.
Oh, okay, I just thought you may have information on what's on the building.
No, ma'am.
They're already prepped. What was your name?
Carla.
Carla, okay.
This is Fort Worth.
That's why I have yet to get the
My
services
phone
on the
did this
building
on its
and
own.
blatant lies by multiple different
I don't know how to-
members to keep me from services.
So
Why
they
can't
asked
we
me to
talk about
leave.
that in all my environments.
Because they couldn't
But people are
express.
infuriated that I'm recording crimes. This is a felony charge to repeatedly do this to someone year after year.
They wanted me to leave even without my medicine. Because I asked them what were about the services on the building. And they scammed, but they did
Monitoring
it.
me illegally and using the only avenue I have to escape this abuse as ammo to keep me from services that you've already been denied. Every single environment wants
They
to escape.
fled
I was
the
getting
scene
treated
when I
like
got
this
my
before I
phone.
started recording it. That's why I started recording it. But it had arrests and handcuffs and assaults included in it because I wasn't recording it, and thefts. The truth of the matter is, they can't explain. They're bought off and paid for in advance that I don't get these services, and they have to enforce I don't get them. It's already controlled. That's what's really going on. They know that I'm going to ask about the services on the building. I've already been lied to all this time and deprived services years. So now, to keep me from asking them the question why I'm not getting the services on the building, we need you to leave the building and blame it on my recording.
But I'm
The
hiding
police
it.
department would come down and commit the crimes personally themselves.
They leave. Guess who's outside waiting?
Hello.
They demanded that I left.
Not very good. I keep getting denied services. I think you guys are behind it. Enlisting civilians in criminal activity.
What services are you getting
They have no idea why they sitting in the MHMR parking lot.
I want to be in witness protection, but can't get it. I went to the DA trying to get help there, and the police.
There's no.
interrupted it.
He's just sitting in the parking lot of
The DA
MHMR.
trying to get a protection order, and the police department forced me to leave. They've done it multiple
And
different
then why
times.
is it recording upside down?
Well, I'm fleeing a domestic violence crisis, and it's been impossible. I cannot flee.
So
it,
they tried to
period.
scam a criminal trespass.
It's
But this criminal trespass, I guess they got spooked out and didn't do it. Nonetheless, the MHMR closed down. But here's the kicker. A lot of businesses that have violated me closed down. And I still couldn't get services because they closed. It was just strangest thing. I'm trying to find the video of Adrian where she said the police called her out and they shouldn't have known. And all mental health hospitals, they treat me worse than what you're seeing because I can't record it and they know it, so they milk it. It's horrible in mental hospitals. If I take myself in there voluntarily, it's even worse because they want to terrorize me so bad that I'll leave.
Number of times she's dialed 911
911.
I can get my phone. I called the 9 emergency line.
Excuse me. Hold on, please.
Okay, so I'm reporting interference with child custody right here with Adrian. And some kind of way, I've been threatened 3 or 4 times a day on camera footage, assaulted, ran off roads, pickpocketed, stalking, prank calls, and all this going on, attack, robberies, all kind of different things going off, ran off roads, assault with a deadly weapon. And they're complaining about me calling to report
From March
crimes.
25th, 21 to April 19th.
This is my caseworker, social worker,
She's
right
continuing.
here.
We respond to location, and she can exercise her rights. It doesn't mind. There's no problem.
This is a waste of resources.
Okay,
in my mind.
Okay, there's no reason.
That.
What I'm saying is, we don't mind coming to help if there's an emergency.
Correct.
You're right. This is a waste of resources because we have a lot of high
Child abuse is a waste of
at this
resources and
time,
interference with child
and
custody
usually
and
when she
felony
calls.
crimes that I'm trying to
So
report
I don't want her to
currently.
think that we don't want to assist her. We are here to help her and to help with emergency situations. This is not an emergency situation.
I didn't call the
All these
emergency
other
line.
times have not
I don't
been
know why I
emergency
keep getting slandered.
situations. How many times have she called again?
So they need an alibi to
25
interrupt
times in
me
1 month.
reporting interference with child custody.
But I've
That's
also
state jail
told you
felony
about
crime.
police corruption, multiple false arrests. I got arrested out of a task.
But here's the thing.
And I've had a lot of slander by the police
You're going
department.
to end up either getting a citation or getting arrested.
This
because
is my
For
help.
reporting crimes. I didn't call 911.
This is
25 times.
I didn't call 911, and they told me that it was the same line.
So my case manager set me up. They'll lie and say that I'm mentally ill or I'm having a crisis, and then they get when I record, then they'll get scared and then won't do it. So I think that they were probably trying to set me up at Gulf Bend, and then when I started recording, then demanded my phone like they do at a lot of other locations, and that I cut it off. They started demanding that people cut the phone off here. And I'll cut the do not disturb. What are you doing wrong? Why the phone has to be off? I'm stating that people are starting arguments. Maybe they know that people are starting arguments and they don't want anyone else to know that they're doing it. Janisa, I asked her to help for the plea abuse.
I don't understand how I asked you a question and you're not answering my question I asked.
But you're not listening, so therefore, what you want me to say to you?
I wanted you to ask my question and not start arguing.
I asked for resources to help me
I
plea
don't know why
abuse.
so many people start arguments when they're not giving me services. Like they're scheming so they don't have to give it to me everywhere I go. And I don't know why you get on the phone when I'm trying to ask you about the services, how I get them. Why people make it such a big deal to make sure I don't get help.
A lot of parties, including my own family, they use that strategy to ignore me. They get on the phone. So after she started the argument and I got my phone, they immediately know I don't know how. So she got on the phone so she wouldn't be incriminated and walked off. So I was at Dallas Life Shelter. So I went to another location because I was getting terrorized. And I wanted to end it. So I went to the other side of Dallas Life Shelter. They're supposed to have a domestic violence part, and they referred me to another location, Janisa. And I said, do you have a domestic violence part? She says, yes, but go to Janisa. I never got the help. So then after that, I guess they really do have a domestic violence part because I escalated to report Janisa and all the Metro Care staff for their corruption. And I was tired of being mistreated and seeing others getting services that I wasn't getting. So I escalated to Keri and Mary Ann Sweeney. I don't know if I already went over this. Claims that she overheard the conversation. Eve was eavesdropping. And then we got this.
Why are people not getting something you guys offer? I'm Marianne.
It's a con. Where'd she come from?
So you guys are from Metro Care? Yes, I'm a clinical director for the ACT program. Okay, what is that?
They don't want their felony, so they have to scam.
We're an intensive mental health program. We do in the field services for individuals with greater needs. Okay. Greater need means greater than coming into your clinic. Okay, I didn't meet you either, I'm sorry.
Okay, Clark. I have some strange things going on in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and this program is supposed to help me get help from the hospital. Then they took me in a boarding home.
Okay, were you in the psych unit at Parkland Hospital?
Yes.
For mental health issues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so so from there you went to.
Yeah.
So I told her that I was there on false pretenses, and she's asking me if I was in the what psych ward. What does that have to do with I was there on false pretenses? It's already paid and bought off before I met her.
Trying to figure out what's going on. So.
No one invited you. What are you talking about?
Coming to your building, someone's going to help you with housing.
Metro Care was paying for the housing.
They were paying for that was willing to take you in because you're banned from the other shelters. Well, we've been told because of behavior.
Blatant lies. So she puts me out the shelter in the calm, but it's this they don't want the felonies. You just can't, there's supposed to be civil rights and rights in this country. So they're strategizing in avenues to get this done, like at Target in this new location. Just blatantly lie on her, and then we can give her a criminal trespass, and we'll do it from all the other locations like we've been doing years. So back to scams at this new location in Victoria at Gulf Bend. I'm just showing you a history. That way you can see a pattern of behavior that I've had to endure an extensive amount of time.
Okay with me coming into your home? We can always talk about alternative meeting places as well.
Is that when you wanted to talk about my daughter when you came later? About her abuse?
I think it glitched.
Yeah, on the 18th, we can definitely is a mental health need for you. I help you learn those coping skills to manage your mental health. I can also get you connected to resources. You had mentioned the food pantry, so that's something that is within my scope too. I can help you get to those connections. If you're unable to do so because of lack of transportation, I can take you to those food pantries as well too.
Okay, so food pantry and mental health? That's it?
Yes.
Okay. I know my rights are being violated. I know there's housing and all kind of other resources, but if I don't know, then they won't tell me. Since my rights are being violated, I get it that I can't get the truth.
I don't know. It glitched, so I don't know what you heard.
So, okay.
There's more than just coping skills in food pantries.
That's all you said. I don't want to repeatedly, like I told the other lady from Gulf Bend, I don't really get it. It's kind of sabotage. Like Adrian played all these games, and she's with Metro Care and waste their time day in and day out, and then for them to get nowhere. But I've had people talk to me 2 hours and scam like they wanted to help people in police, and they never had any intention of doing it. But nonetheless, my daughter, she witnessed my foster arrest, screaming in terror at age 8, and then she's been kept away from me for profit ever since then on false statements.
Oh, wow.
And there's multiple
That's
different
gotta be tough on you.
It is definitely tough. And then, being sitting and marinating in the fact that, people around me, I don't know if they're ready to have integrity. I don't know what would make them condone someone being treated the way that I'm being treated. I don't know what's happening with the people around me. But as I stated before, just like in the civil rights movement, they did what they could, but they had to wait on the people around them to change. And there's no options for me. If I'm being governed by people that are enforcing my abuse, I can't combat that. I just hope and pray that the people around me will change and see that that's wrong.
Yeah, and prayer is powerful. I believe in prayers. They do get answered. I hope that for you and your daughter. Where's your daughter at now? Do you know where her location's at?
I do. Yes, I do.
You do. If you would like, and with your permission, I would like to talk to you more about your daughter's situation.
What's the relevancy of that? Because I've talked to multiple different people, and they just want to cause the psychological damage and upset me. That it went through this years to get nowhere. So what is the relevancy of? If I'm going to talk to you about her, what is going to be done about our conversation if I tell you about it?
Well, it depends on the nature of the conversation. I can't really say unless I know more information, more details about your daughter's situation.
So you need to know more about the abuse?
Yeah, I would just like to know more about the
abuse. They
have an understanding of it. And then, because I'm a mandated reporter, if your child is in an abusive situation after talking with you, I can report those kind of things to CPS or even ATS, depending how old your daughter is now. But again, I have to ask for more details and more information.
Okay, that's what they typically do. If they know I'm tired of the games, then they'll start using my daughter as leverage to hurt me. So we'll go ahead and test this out and see how this works. A lot of people have used my daughter to hurt me. It's happened years.
Wow. Yeah. So, or do I get you scheduled for next home? We can always talk about alternative meeting places as well.
Is that when you wanted to talk about my daughter when you came later about her abuse?
Yeah, on the 18th, we can definitely talk about your
So I don't know if
daughter.
you gathered what happened. She lures me in with saying, "Let me speak about your daughter," and then I tell her about my daughter, and then she deflects and then talks about an appointment time. So we didn't concentrate on this. So she basically disregarded my daughter's abuse in my statement. She didn't say I'd reported. She deflected and then set up an appointment time. And if these people are introducing this is my first interaction with her. I just met this lady this call. And I can imagine, but typically with the mental health providers, they abuse their power and they're flying monkeys, all of them. It's all highly controlled. I've never seen nothing like. There's no option. Every last one I have ever had has been abusive and played mind games. And I'm just trying to prove it.
Say my daughter now. I think that that's part of the abuse. And please don't say my location again. A lot of people do that in malice to just call and upset me and play mind games.
Yes,
I did
ma'am,
address
I will
that
let
to
you
you.
say that all the
Yeah,
time.
I did address
I
that
do
to you
apologize.
prior at the beginning of this call, that's typically what people do. And then they use my daughter, tell me about your daughter, and then you have to go before I tell you about my daughter's abuse. We don't deserve that disrespect. My daughter doesn't, and I don't deserve it from you or anyone else. That's disrespectful.
Understood.
To disregard someone telling you about their child's abuse and want to talk about it later. That's abusive, ma'am.
Okay. Understood. Well, do you have any other questions about case
I don't know why you would
management?
lie and say you want to talk about my daughter's abuse and then don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, we can talk about it right now.
I don't think that you really want to help. I think that you just called. I think it's fruitless. Maybe we can talk about it then. I mean, when we're going to I just hope you don't use that my daughter as leverage to hurt me and as a strategy to hurt me and say that you want to help and then disregard like other parties have done.
No, ma'am.
Like the police department pretending like they were going to go over to this house and check my daughter's out environments and detain me and took me to Dallas Behavioral. So, but it is, I mean, I have to wait on the people around me to change. I don't really think that, I think that perhaps maybe this call is probably designed to be toxic and maybe we just should wait till I'm more mentally, handle it because I've endured a lot of abuse. And I don't think that I'm really ready for your mind games right now because you've already exhibited some behavior that you probably want to play mind games.
Yeah. Well, with traumatic experiences.
I do want to let you go, ma'am, and then we can discuss it at my appointment, and that was Friday at 10:30. I don't think you have my best interest at heart, and most people that call me don't, and I'm just trying to prove it.
So I got you scheduled.
Okay, did you have the email address? I mean, not the email address, but
I was giving her my YouTube channel. So this is we was on the call 20 minutes. And, it's frustrating because these people, like in this environment, I'll tell them I want to let them go because I don't want, they call it inopportune times. They're flying monkeys. So Adrian, I don't know if I already went over this because I recorded. They called, interrupting me at like domestic violence organizations, doing police reports. When I'm having a good day, they'll call and start arguments, multiple different ones. They'll set up something and come out and start arguments. They'll offer something, then deny it. It's just a lot of psychological damage. Say we're going to do this and then don't. So I'll have that expectation and then get my hope shot down. So I really don't know if it's really safe to have these people in my life because I know that they're minions, but I'm being robbed of my rights by not having that possibility in my life. That's all this is about.